The government of Qatar has taken in about 2,000 refugees from Gaza. So they live in a compound in Doha, and we went over there. It was so distressing. It was so shocking to see children, many of them orphaned without any family at all. All their siblings have been killed. Kids with no limbs, many with mangled faces. There were four of us. It was just four middle-aged men staring at the floor, trying not to cry.
I'm a revert, and I've learned the entire Salah through the guided Salamat.
That means every single time I pray,
The person who taught me gets the reward.
5 times a day, from Fajr to Isha.
Sponsor 10 people for just £100 today.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to support the channel. The awakening of Tucker Carlson to the plight of the Palestinian people continues. However, in contrast to what Israeli propagandists would have you believe, this process is not based on a monetary incentive. Rather, it's based on real-life evidence. During his very recent trip to Doha, Tucker Carlson and his team visited some of the 2,000 refugees from Gaza that Qatar took in, which included orphans, child amputees, and genocide survivors. Let's take a look.
For over 2 years, Israel has murdered tens of thousands of children on purpose and then locked the doors of Gaza, shot dozens and dozens and dozens of journalists so no one can film what's happening, and just leveled the place so they can move the people out and take it. What's the justification for that? What's the excuse? Well, of course, there isn't one. And so the other day we thought, for the first time, we would go see what this looks like. And so there is, maybe it's one of the reasons they hate Qatar. The government of Qatar has taken in about 2,000 refugees from Gaza. They actually can't get any more because Israel won't let them out. But there was a period at the beginning of the bombing campaign in Gaza where some people did get out. And the government of Qatar said, okay, we'll take them, these Palestinians from Gaza, and we will treat their injuries, especially the children. We'll take the kids. So they live in a compound in Doha, and we went over there just to see it, in between other things that we were doing. People we were talking to, people we were interviewing, and just thought we should go see that. So we didn't bring like a regular camera. Our cameraman, Kyle, who's really talented, had his iPhone, because we didn't want to, stick a camera in people's faces and like exploit the suffering of others to make a point. We were not even planning on putting this on the air. But it was so distressing. It was so shocking to see children, many of them orphaned without any family at all. All their siblings have been killed. No parents have been killed, or their parents are stuck in Gaza and the Israelis won't let them out. Kids with no limbs, many with mangled faces. A child with a mangled face. But there were four of us, okay? Me, my business partner, who I've known my whole life, and two producers who we've worked with for many, many years. And these are guys who've really been around like everywhere and seen other wars and seen a lot of injuries and, kind of hard to rattle. And by the time we get out of there, it was just four middle-aged men staring at the floor, trying not to cry. Here's part of what it looked like.
due to war in Gaza. Most of them need children with special needs, or they are.
How many have two parents?
I think in my femur, my right, and also in my knee. With my friends, I was 15 years old. My friends were like the same age.
أنا حامل الأول يا دكتور إبراهيم.
أنا ما بديش حاجة.
Yeah. When come back and inside and when inside.
You're a journalist? صحفي. God?
There's an awful lot we left out of there. You don't, again, want to exploit the suffering of others. I felt a little bit weird even filming anything. But in the end, we decided it was important because, what the hell? I mean, what the hell? All these kids with their limbs blown off. This little girl looked just like my goddaughter, with no fingers, one hand and no fingers. Like, is she in Hamas? There are tens of thousands of those. And again, look, there's so-called collateral damage in war, I guess. Look at the pictures of Gaza. It's not collateral damage. They flattened the place so they could take it. And now they're trying to like force the people into other countries, including ours, including the United States. Not only do we have to pay for the war, but also take in all the survivors. Why do we have anything to do with this? But what's most shocking to me is that no one seems bothered by it. None of the people who support Israel seem bothered by it at all. And that's the real threat. It's not just the crime, children whose faces are mangled by U.S. munitions, because why? The real crime is the way that the supporters of this atrocity are justifying it. Not simply to the world, but to themselves. They're justifying it by saying out loud, well, they're all Hamas because they're all in Gaza. And yeah, they're kids, but if we let them grow up, they'd become Hamas too. What they're describing is the concept of blood guilt and the collective punishment and reward that naturally flows from that belief. And the belief is God favors some, but not others. And that is the enemy of Western civilization. That is the opposite of what Christians believe. Christians believe that every person was created as an individual by God. That's why anti-Semitism is wrong. That's why Gaza is wrong. Every person is created as an individual and must be judged as an individual. We don't like what you do. We can't blow the fingers off your daughter. That's not allowed. But they think it is allowed. They're celebrating it.
Firstly, my respect for Tucker Carlson just increased tenfold after seeing this. Seeing those innocent kids being disfigured and maimed is so heartbreaking. Like Tucker said, those little ones resemble children in all our families. Tucker and his team's emotional reaction of distress, shock, and wanting to break down into tears is what any normal human being would feel witnessing innocent people being harmed so mercilessly. And bear in mind, he said some of his team were experienced in reporting from other war zones, so for them to be this emotionally shaken gives you an indication of how inhumane the Israeli regime's actions have been. And this is just what they witnessed in a compound in Doha from seeing genocide survivors. I shudder to think what the harrowing scenes in Gaza were like in actuality, where far worse violence was endured by hundreds of thousands of people who didn't make it. There's been a gradual shift happening in Tucker when it comes to the Palestine situation, which was a topic he initially hesitated to talk about. But after seeing child and adult victims firsthand, he's now adamant that Israel has killed a massive amount of the population of Gaza and leveled the place on purpose. Additionally, Tucker concluded that this is why the Israelis have also fatally shot numerous journalists to cover up the inexcusable war crimes they've committed, all in the name of their unrelenting colonial ambitions to steal more land. As he said, there is no justification for such evil. Tucker also claimed that Qatar wanted to take in more Palestinians than the initial 2,000 they took in, but Israel wouldn't allow it. That for me equates to Israel being on a deliberate mission to murder civilians, including kids, rather than allowing them to leave and get medical treatment to increase their chances of survival. Tucker expressed a mix of surprise and disgust at the fact that after the genocide has been completed, Israel now expect countries around the world to take in the survivors. In particular, Tucker took exception to US citizens first being forced to fund the destruction of Gaza through their taxes, and then having to deal with the refugees who by some miracle survived, just so Israel can complete their demonic mission of ethnic cleansing. As he said, what is equally as disturbing is how psychopathic pro-Israel apologists justify and even celebrate these horrific atrocities. And Tucker was correct to label such propagandists a threat to our very society. As Tucker stated, the collective dehumanization and punishment of Palestinians is neither civilized nor is it of God. Whatever you think about people like Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens or whoever, Palestine is the measuring stick of our morality in this era. And for these people to go against the grain on their huge platforms and risk everything by taking on these Zionist elitists just to speak up for the oppressed deserves our appreciation, our support, and the utmost respect. Thank you for watching. Until next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.